I hope everyone's okay. Obviously, well, not so obviously, but you know, by now, a lot of people have got the news that King Eddie is no longer with us. King Eddie has passed on. So usually, I mean, everyone that follows me anyway, that follows Priest, you know, have been around. You know, some people are obviously younger than others. Some people have been around for a while, but the chances that Eddie has touched you with his music directly or indirectly is pretty high. So, you know, everyone that, you know, as I said, lots of people that follow Priest, lots of people that follow me are, you know, obviously affected by Eddie's passing. He changed, in my opinion. There's only two players in the history of electric guitar that have changed the landscape as much as Eddie and Hendrix. I mean, in my opinion, Les Paul, obviously, people that create, you know, Leo Fender, the technicians. Les Paul obviously launched the guitar. He was a fantastic jazz player, and you know, was instrumental, you know, along with Gibson, for introducing the Les Paul, game changer, you know, all that sort of stuff. But as far as playing wise, since the explosion of heavy rock, you know, and heavy metal, I don't think anyone has been more influential than Jimi Hendrix or Eddie Van Halen. And they weren't only guitar players, but they changed the world we live in. They changed the musical landscape. They changed our lives, you know. So, you know, as is with these things, when they happen, you get a lot of people coming onto the social platforms playing their rendition of the deceased person's music, which is all well and good. But at the end of the day, to me, it makes it about them. It makes it about the player, and you know, it makes it about, you know, we can all appreciate Eddie in our own way. We don't have to get on and make it about ourselves playing an Eddie lick. So what I wanted to do with you guys tonight, I don't want to. I mean, first of all, I can't play Eddie like Eddie. You know, what I wanted to do tonight is just, we can all sit down and have a beer and talk about Eddie. We can share Eddie's stories. We can, you know, we can talk about Eddie and take, you know, this opportunity not to post my rendition of an Eddie track and make it about me or the guitar I'm using or my followers or anything about that. It's about us. It's about the fans. It's about the music, and it's about King Eddie. So, you know, I wanted to make it about you, because that's what it's all about. You know, it's about the music. You guys, me, we're all influenced by King Eddie. So, you know, if anyone's got any stories, or if they want to just shout them out, and I'll read them out. I know there's a feature on Instagram. I've never actually done it before, where you can actually join the video. Maybe we can do something like that. You can tell me your story, and then someone else can come on and tell me their story. Maybe something like that would work. I don't know. I've never done it, but let's just, you know, let's celebrate Eddie, the way he's touched all of us musically, because I know he has. I know pretty much everyone on here has been touched by Eddie's music, indirectly or directly. So let's see if that works, rather than just, you know, trying to play an Eddie song and, you know, doing it for the likes and whatever, because a lot of people are going to be doing that. So let's see if it will be something different. So yeah, I don't know. Someone just asked me, have I ever met Eddie? I never met Eddie. No. Let me think. I was never in a place. I was born in 1980, so by the time that I started, you know, playing guitar, you know, in bars and clubs, I was, you know, it was mid-90s, early 90s. And then by the time I joined Priest, I was 30, and kind of Van Halen were kind of, you know, there was the Sharon era, there was the Van Hagar era. I never got to see the band even. I never got to meet Eddie or see the band. So no, short answer is no. I'd have loved to have met the guy. You know, there's a lot of people we hear about when, you know, we have stories about our heroes, and sometimes people say you shouldn't meet your heroes, but the stories you hear about Eddie were always like, I was glad I met him. He was such a humble, down-to-earth guy. Some people you hear about weren't so down to earth, and sometimes it ruined people's experiences of it, the hero of theirs. So Jess, you're on there. How you doing, Jess? I'm so sad I never got to see Eddie perform. It's devastating to know I won't be able to. I know. Me and my significant other were just talking about this, and she saw Van Halen at the Hollywood Bowl. I think we were talking. It was either 15 or 16. And obviously, none of us knew. I mean, that's 4 years. Van Halen. I've never seen Van Halen. I regret to say, I've never seen Van Halen. And I know there's been various incarnations of Van Halen. There was Van Halen and Van Hagar. I know that Lee Roth and Sammy Hagar done a joint tour a few years ago. To me, it was Eddie. Eddie's gone, that's it. So yeah, was listening to Eruption earlier today when I heard the news. After listening to it for so many years, was really kind of sick of it. But today felt like the first time again. Yeah, I understand what you mean. It's like you when things go away, you realise how important they are. I mean, everyone knew that Ed was sick. I think everyone knew that Ed has had complications for a few years. 65 is not old at all, it's not, so yeah, but we all knew he had complications, but so yeah, we've got any more questions? We've got some here. Do you know if Rob ever met Eddie? I'll have to ask him. I don't actually know, but I can imagine that they did meet each other. When was the first Van Halen record? Was it 78 or was it before that? I don't remember when it was. If anyone can tell us what year that was. But so I mean, Priest were around, the first record 74. So I would imagine they were probably on the same. It was 78, right? Okay, so they were probably on the same circuits. They probably bumped into each other. I'll have to ask Rob. Someone said 77. Someone said 77. Maybe, but we were all thinking it's 78. I'm sure Rob did meet him. I'm sure the boys met him. If anyone's got any photos, there might be photographic evidence of that. So yeah, if anyone finds anything, post it, tag me in it, and I'll whack it up there. First time I heard Panama, I seen it on YouTube at that point. I was learning guitar, and that has inspired me to never stop learning. Yeah, some people. It's funny with guitar players. It depends what speaks to us or not. Sometimes we hear a guitar player and we say, right, that's it. I'm putting down a guitar. I'm never playing guitar again. It's so out of this world. I could never do that. And it depends where you are in your playing as well. But Eddie was always like, for me as well, you'd hear Eddie and you'd be inspired to play, Someone just said, first time I heard Eddie, I shit my pants. I think everyone did, absolutely. Van Halen did that 83 US festival. You're absolutely right, they did the US festival. I think there was Motley Crue, Van Halen, Priest, there's a few other bands on there as well. You're absolutely right. So I would guarantee that Rob met the band. They probably knew each other well by then. Yeah, so it was 78, everyone, yeah. You guys were right. Ed played with Path Humbuckers. Yeah, I think so. I don't actually know the specifics of what it was, but I mean, we're talking late 70s. He could have took the humbucker out of anything by then. I know it was, I know he liked the sound of a Les Paul for that, but whether they were PAFs, I'm not sure, to be honest. He made guitar solos that non-guitar people recognise. Yeah, that's true. It's like Hendrix, and he changed the way that the guitar was played forever. And, I know he wasn't the first guy to tap. Tapping, there were a couple of guys that had done it before. But Eddie really popularised the whole thing, I think it's fair to say. You know, Van Halen did several Texas jams. Yeah, no doubt. I honestly didn't want to believe the news when I heard he passed. I know it's very sad. It's very sad. I you know, as I said, like the way he played guitar. A lot of people, when they think of Eddie Van Halen's playing, they think of the tapping element, but there was so much like more to his playing. In just the lead playing, the rhythm playing alone was a different vibe, you know, and like a lot of the blues and the bends and the pentatonics and stuff, people kind of not forget about, but it's not the first thing they think about when they think of Eddie. You know, the melody, the bends, the blues, the pentatonics wrapped up with the tapping and the phase 90 and a cranked Marshall was just and just the songwriting and everything like that. It was it changed the world that we live in. It really did. So you know, let me see. His rhythm playing was fucking amazing. Yeah, exactly. I just said his rhythm playing was one of a kind as well. It was very unique. His timing, his sense of time was very unique. Percussive. So yeah, nobody can play the one correctly but King Edward. Do you know what? No, I've never heard anyone play anything Edward played completely correctly. And you know, and that's fine. You know, people do their own thing. And I mean, my position in Priest, I've never played the same thing twice or completely. What's the word? Exact as the original. But I mean, even when people really try it, you know, I've seen people really try it and play Van Halen stuff, and they play it note for note, but it doesn't sound the same, you know, and that's the genius, you know, that's what makes it unique. You can play all the right notes, but you know, it's not all about that sometimes. So yeah. Jackson asked him to do the guitar solo and beat it. Song would not have been the bigger hit without that solo. I mean, at the time, what year did Beat It come out? I remember it on the radio as a kid. Was it maybe 82, 83? I'm guessing. If anyone can find out what that is, what year it was. But yeah, I remember hearing it on the radio. You know, so it definitely tied in. Michael always, he did it with Slash as well, you know, he you know, got someone in around that time, collaborated with people, and Eddie was one of those guys. Would it have reached the same amount of people? It probably reached more with Eddie on it, because it definitely tapped into that audience for sure. So yeah, it was 83, right? So someone just told me it was 83, so that's 2 for 2. 84, mate, do you know what? I don't even know. But yeah, I think Michael was pretty astute when it came to that kind of thing, especially with the guitar players. You'd get a guitar player in like that for 1 or 2 songs. You know, if it was Michael, I don't know. Whether it was his management, I don't know either. But Eddie was definitely, of that time, riding a wave, and it made sense probably for Michael to do that. And, you know, as we said, would it have been as big a song? Who knows? History's history, but it definitely turned a lot of people onto, you know, that style of guitar playing being on the radio in 83. And I don't care who it was. I don't care that, you know, there was a lot of guitar players around that time that were all doing the same thing, but Eddie never sounded like any one of them. They were all trying to sound like Eddie. Eddie didn't sound like any of them, so in my opinion. So whoever it was, you know, and no one ever sounded like Eddie, so that's just the way it is. Is there a particular Van Halen song that really made you rethink your own playing? Well, all of them from a guitar playing point of view, and also from a songwriting point of view. You know, there was an element of fun in Van Halen's music. You know, Dance the Night Away. You know, just, I mean, there was an element of fun. So that always influences. You know, you've got to think about that when you're writing songs. You know, they weren't always doom and gloom, or it was good fun. It was good fun rock and roll music. So so I don't know how do we do this. So I'm just looking. I think you're the only guitarist who's given his opinion of the death of Eddie, and that is good because he has a certain affectionate opinion. Well, the thing is, a lot of people these days, obviously they're affected by Eddie's music, and they write it in their Instagram post. And to me, as soon as you do that, you make it about you. And I know that's what we do as human beings, but I want to celebrate Eddie in my own way and have a beer with Eddie. And as I said, it's about the music and it's about the fans, and we're all fans. So, it ain't going to be a rendition of, Panama. It ain't going to be when I met him or what it did to me. This is about now, and it's about you, and it's about me, and it's about King Eddie. So that to me is what it's about, because everyone else does the other stuff. So, and as I said, when you do that, it makes it about you, and it ain't about me, it ain't about any of them. So it's about Eddie, it's about the music, it's about the fans, which we all are. So yeah. So after this as well, I'm not going to save this. This isn't going to be on my profile either. It's not going to be like this is what I did with the fans. It's not going to be. So I'm not going to save this. It's just going to be about us now, talking about Eddie. We haven't played any songs yet, but so yeah, we might do. But it's about that. It's about us, the music, and about King Edward. So yeah. He will never be dethroned. No, he will not ever be dethroned. I mean, he's untouchable anyway. People have tried to dethrone him, and that's I'm sure he'd welcome that. I didn't know Eddie, but there's a healthy competition with guitar players. There's nothing wrong with it, but people can try and dethrone the king, but that's one king that can't be dethroned. But a lot of people we've got people from Brazil. That's cool. Hi, Brazil. So again, like that's probably like, you could tell that's Panama, but it's probably like 90% of what Panama really is. You know what I mean? That's just the way Eddie was, and Eddie will live on. Was it Soul Calibur? There's a game, like a fighting game on some sort of console, whatever. And at the end it said, "Legends will never die," and it won't. His legend will live on. It will live on through you. It will live on through me, and it will live on through our children and the next generations. Like Hendrix did. Hendrix did. I was born 10 years after Hendrix died, and Hendrix lives on still. So there you go. There's a good one. Let me see if I can just do something here. I'm going to look for a bit of delay. Bear with me. Bear with me. Right, so what I'm looking for is this. Let's try this. Does anyone know this one? Anyone know that? It's one of my favourite songs. you go, someone's got it. I mean, even in the way that Eddie used amplifiers and got a sound, you know, I had a conversation with Andy Sneap, and he was saying, you know, until Eddie, no one had got that sound before. No one had got that sound, that sort of warm, that characteristic sound that Eddie got, you know. He'd always had a fucking great sound, and he was a technician, not only playing, but on the amplifier side as well, on the sonic side as well. So yeah. So someone just asked what my favourite Eddie sound was it the Plexi sound or the 5150 sound he had later on? To me, I didn't give a shit. It was all, I mean, the later on sound could have been the Plexi sound. To me, it sounded the same. To me, it sounded like Eddie. Excuse me. Good Lord. To me, I wasn't fussed. I loved them both. It was all in Eddie's fingers. The tone was in his fingers. And I always say to a lot of you know, if I always use Brian May as an example. So if Brian May came in and played my gear, he wouldn't sound like me. If I went and played Brian May's gear, I wouldn't sound like me. I wouldn't sound like Brian May. I wish, but you know, and Eddie was another one of those people. If Eddie's playing a Plexi, or if he's playing a pig nose, or if he's playing a fucking 5150, that's what Eddie wanted to play. That's what was reacting the way Eddie wanted to get from the amp, you know. To me, I didn't give a shit. It sounds like Eddie Van Halen, you know. As I said, he could play a pig nose with a Phase 90, and it sounds like Eddie, you know. What else did we used to play in bars and stuff? Running with the Devil. The live version. What else do we play? has something in common. Do you know what? I think they should do an Eddie Van Halen Eddie. They should do an Eddie in like the Frankenstrat colours. I mean, that would be just like Eddie in those colours. Enough said. You know what I mean? Someone just said, stating my point earlier, there's a lot of blues and pentatonic in Eddie's playing, that gets not forgotten about, but the first, as I said earlier on, the first thing you think about with Van Halen a lot of times, or a lot of people think about, is the, like that, the tapping, Let me see, how often do you go live? Not as often as I have been. Excuse my French. I usually go live every Friday for Falcon Fridays, but I haven't been. I've had a few things going on. One of the things I did was the Thin Lizzy thing with Damon Johnson from Black Star Rise and Thin Lizzy. And that was a couple of Fridays ago, and then last Friday I was doing something else, so hopefully this Friday I'll be back for a Falcon Friday. So I think the only guitarist who's giving his opinion on the death of Eddie, and that's good, because the other opinion... No, I think everyone's going to give their opinion, no doubt. As they do. As we all do. Everyone gives their opinion. I just wanted to do it in a slightly different way, which was more about us, and the music that Eddie created, and him. That was it. So yeah, what else we got here? Has anyone got any more Eddie stories, or how did? What's your favourite Van Halen song? I mean, there's obviously some of the well-known ones, some of the hits, but there's some deep cuts out there as well that we all love. Beat it, Mr. Bergman. That's all I know from that one. Mean Street, we've got Unchained. It is difficult to pick one. It is difficult to pick one. Any Priest song that you can recognise Eddie's influence on it. Some of the riff you can say, yep, that's it. That's a great question. That's a great question. The question was, Maniacs, any song of Priests that I can hear Eddie's influence in. Now I'd have to think. I haven't really thought about that, but I mean, you could say that Eddie's influences was all over anything since Eddie came out. Especially if you're a guitar player, you can't not be paying attention to what Eddie was doing. You know, but as far as like a song, I'll have to think about it. That's a fantastic question. I'm sure, you know, if I spoke to Glenn or Rob, they'd probably have some answers for you. You know, they'd probably say, yeah, we saw Eddie doing this and we thought, oh, that was a great. I mean, Bloodstone, that's a fair assessment. That's a good call. Whether it was conscious or not, who knows? I'll have to ask Glenn. And I mean, as far as, you know, Van Halen as a band, who could not be influenced by them? You couldn't ignore, you know. Wasn't it Van Halen that opened for Ozzy? Or was it Metallica that opened for Ozzy? I'm sure, wasn't it Van Halen that opened for Sabbath? Sorry, Van Halen opened for Sabbath. If I'm not mistaken, back in the day. So, like, if you're Black Sabbath, you know, which I know you all are Black Sabbath, but especially Tony Iommi, seeing a band like that and a guitar player like that had to have been influential. I mean, had to have been shockingly eye-opening, you know. What's your favourites? There's a pic with them all mooning the photographer. I'll tell you, one of my favourites is the album sleeve for the first record. Because I remember getting it. I used to be into, you know, vinyls at the time. And just the picture of all of them. Eddie there with I think it was the black and white Frankenstrat, if I'm not mistaken. I probably am. Haven't been a few times on this, which I'm fairly surprised about. But I think it was the black and white Frankenstrat that he had, and it had like the fire coming off it. Lee Roth bending over, you know, Alex sort of pounding, and obviously Michael. I think that's probably one of my favourites. You know, you see a lot of photos these days, especially on Instagram and social media and stuff. But that was probably the one that sticks with me the most is that first Van Halen cover. Yeah, we're all influenced in some way, but sometimes guitarists will purposely write something thinking of someone, something like that. But thanks for the answer. Yeah, that's true. I guess people do like a tribute to Van Halen. Like I'm going to write something that almost people can tell that's a Van Halen style riff because it's a tribute. So yeah, I guess some people do that. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but that's a great question. I'll tell you what, there was one, I'll tell you, is it, Right Here, Right Now was the name of the live. There was a live video. I think it was called Right Here, Right Now. If anyone can correct me on that, or will I be right again? I mean, fucking hell, we're going for 4. But I think that was the first. I'm just trying to do something here, which is why I'm not really thinking very well. Yeah, it was was with Sammy. Was it just called Right Now? Okay, so it was just called Right Now. That's an awful. I'm trying to find a phaser. But I realise I don't want a phaser. I want a what the fuck? Let's try a flanger, shall we, Maniacs? So it was on that live video that he done like a solo, and it was it was something like that. It was something like that, and it just blew my mind. It just, blew my mind. And I think it introduced to me, I think, oh, that's what he's doing. I've heard, I heard Eruption, and when I saw him doing that, then, I was 93, probably saw it in 94, something like that. So then, right there, I just started gigging, so that was when I actually saw what he was doing. The solo I'm writing right now is called 316, composed of parts of Eruption Cathedral Main Street. There you go. See, I wouldn't have even know that. So you can rely on you guys. But yeah, my point is that's when I could see. He's playing up the neck. I'd never seen it. Obviously, I'd heard it on things like Eruption, but I'd never actually seen it in action. So yeah, my brother did pinstriping on his guitar back then, like it is. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, not only did he inspire people musically and sonically, but the look of his guitars. Everyone started playing, the Super Strats and making them look. The pinstriping and everything, everyone started doing that. I mean, he was a total innovator, and everyone followed him. And a lot of people followed him, and no one came close to him, I don't think, in my opinion. Eddie never played the Flying V. I actually saw a photo of him today with the Flying V. I think, who was it that posted it? I think George Lynch posted it today. If you go on George Lynch's Instagram, you'll see Eddie with a Gibson Flying V. I didn't know that either. But there you go. So, the flanger's turned off. So yeah. Well, the beer's almost gone. Oh yes, also, yeah, you're absolutely right. I did see another picture of him with a Carina Flying V. You're absolutely right. So yeah. So again, just to reiterate everyone, I wanted to do a bit of time with you guys just to talk about, Eddie, King Edward and the music that he created and how it's touched us all and everything. So I'm going to bugger off soon, but I'm glad that we got to do this. I'm glad that we got to not so much play so much, but just talk about Ed. As you said, you sent some questions. I feel connected with you guys doing this. I hope you guys feel connected as part of our community here. And as I said, it's not about my rendition of this or my experience with Ed. It's about our experiences with King Edward and how he changed our lives. So, but thank you all for doing this. Thank you for doing it for me. As hopefully you got as much enjoyment out of it as I did with doing it with you. So yeah, we'll do another 10 minutes or so. Then I've got to bugger off. That's bugger off for you that don't speak English. There's been a couple of good questions on here as well. One of the good ones that's going to stay with me, and maybe we'll bring it up in another Falcon Friday, is what Priest songs do I think have been influenced, directly by Van Halen and Eddie, King Ed. So I'll have a think about that, and I hope it's, was it Tuesday today? So hopefully by Friday I'll have thought about a couple of things that could have been influenced, not necessarily that were. Or in the meantime, if I speak to Glenn or anyone, I can definitely ask them. But it'll be interesting to see if I can come up with anything that might have been influenced by Van Halen, and see what you guys think as well. So yeah. So yeah, thanks again to everyone. We can, what haven't we played that I know? I don't know too many Van Halen tracks that will do it justice, you know. Thanks, Michael. Cheers, man. Go for a piss. I hear you, brother. Van Halen. I think that's Iron Karen. Karen, we've just been on for a while. We've just been talking about Eddie mainly. We've been talking about Eddie and Van Halen and how he's kind of shaped our lives and everything like that. It's been less about the playing this time than more about the shared stories. You know, some people have sent me questions and their experiences and stuff like that. It's more about that than playing Van Halen. Obviously, we know there's going to be a barrage of people doing their renditions of Van Halen tracks. We've got all that to come, which is fantastic. Looking forward to that. But I didn't want to be another one of those. This is about me and my version. Oh, I think it's disingenuous. You know, we're celebrating Eddie doing this. So yeah. How did I learn Eddie's songs before the internet? Well, do you know what? We just had to put on a tape. Remember those? Put on a tape or a vinyl and learn it by ear. There was some videos available at the time, as I spoke about earlier on. But that's how we used to do it. So how did we do anything before the internet? We actually did. It's amazing to think, you know. So yeah. Right. So Maniacs, I'm going to bugger off. It's been a pleasure. It's been great. Thanks to everyone for stopping by and sharing their stories, sharing their questions, and how Van Halen and Eddie has touched their lives. As we all know, he's touched their lives. 99% of people that follow Priest, follow me, have been touched by Eddie's music in one way or another. So rest in peace to the great King Edward. It's about